Good evening, America. It is Thursday night, and we are back for another episode of the Book of Man book study on none other than the 48 Laws of Power. It's hot outside. I know you're hot. It's been a long day. Go pour you a drink. Come sit down. Watch 48 Laws of Power and learn something to get you out the heat. I'm trying to help you out in life. We got to use some of these skills and some of these things we learn to get out of the heat. It is I, Jay Sims the Lion. I am here with none other than the Doc. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? You know me. Just got that beer virus, man, up under the weather. But it's all good because in about 3 more days, I will be back to full strength, back in there ready to go.
Doc in there, he locked down. So and they saying, give us free like Sankey. He got to get out of there. They got him locked down by the protocols and the quarantine policies behind the COVID-19. But it's all right. We back, and he's gonna be back out here in the streets with us soon. But that don't stop him from broadcasting live on a Thursday night on the Book of Man, 48 Laws of Power. We're getting deep into the book now, Doc.
Ooh, we almost done, bro.
We're getting towards the end, and we got a couple of real nice chapters. I call these the finesse chapters. We in the finesse chapters now.
You know what? I'm not gonna tell you no lie, man. When I read this is the stuff I taught teachers, like how to deal with unruly kids. I taught teachers how to do this. So this is real stuff, bro. Real stuff.
We definitely in the this for your people out of where my Miami people at? Well, this for them folks. Well, this for my Miami people. I know where you at. I know y'all the kings and queens of the finesse game. These are the chapters y'all read over and over again. Okay. Y'all read these and went back and made sure y'all understood these chapters right here. These are the finesse chapters, which can, like everything else in this book, can be used for good or bad. I can finesse you to do something good for yourself, or I can finesse you to do something bad for yourself. Man, it's all how you use it. It's not the tool. Yeah. It's how you use it.
Man, or even so, recognizing when somebody doing it to you. You got to recognize that. Because too many times, man, I've got some notes on my thing right here, man, is where people tried to use that stuff on me, and we see it all the time. And I know I keep falling back to car dealerships, but this is where it happened. That's where it happened all the time. So when we get to it, we'll see.
My bad. Oh, yeah. Please excuse the dog. Somebody rang the doorbell. Look like an Amazon package delivery.
Hey,
that's how they do. I appreciate it. Yes. But it's a little something I ordered, some little gear for me for my working out. Trying to get my body back. Tired of having the dad bod. Trying to get right
for it, man. He trying to get ready for some hoochie daddy shorts.
I'm gonna be honest with this one right here. Listen, I had something that I used to work out with, and I thought I lost it. So I bought that to replace it. How about I found what I was looking for the next day?
Oh, now you got to. Man, send that thing back, bro. Get your money back.
No, I'm gonna use all of them. I needed more than one anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's a type of shirt that I like. I had a couple of them. I thought I lost one of them. Now I got more. It's all good.
Oh, there it is, man. There it is.
I've been waiting for it. I'm glad it came right on time because we hit the gym tonight. Right after this, we in the gym.
Oh, well, then let's get it on, man. So you and somebody's mama can go ahead over there and get it done.
We got to get in there tonight. Trying to get our bodies right for the next trip we take. You know how we got to get on. We got to travel. We want to look good in the pictures. I'm trying to thirst trap.
I feel you, bro. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this thing, man. I'm gonna throw it up on the bottom. Law number 31: control the options.
Okay, listen. I have used this. Oh man, I've used this one effectively. Both of these 2 chapters I have used in my personal life and professional life quite effectively, and I really like them. And I actually picked up some extra stuff reading these 2 chapters. So go ahead.
Well, I told you, man. This is what I taught teachers.
Right.
How to effectively deal with children. It works on adults. It works on anybody.
Yes, it does.
In the beginning, control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal.
Yes.
So in the judgment, it said the best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Victims feel like they are in control, but they are actually your puppets. Give people options that come out in your favor, whichever one they choose. Force them to make choices between the lesser of two evils, both of which serve your purpose. Put them on the horns of a dilemma. They are gored wherever they turn.
Listen, now I know we have defended this book from the folks that say it's about, it's the narcissist handbook, and but when you read a description like that and they say victim in the description, I see where people get the idea that this could be a little bit of a narcissist handbook.
I mean, I would agree, but the more I read it, I think he wrote it like a satire. It's supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a catchy title.
Yeah, well, you have to remember also, a lot of what he's using is from the court, from the courtier time of the courtiers and all of that. And this was kind of like the strategies they used. So because they really was playing a game. They were all playing a game. This is what like the people who masters things like the Game of Thrones. That's why they call it a Game of Thrones.
And I mean, in actuality, I would say politics probably like that now.
Yes,
I wouldn't even want to play it. Between that or what people don't realize is when they say, "Oh, I want to be in management, I want to move up." When you cross a certain level,
yes, sir.
Oh,
that's what you're doing.
That's the game.
The whole game. And controlling the options, man. That is definitely a skill and something you have to be able to do, because you gotta give people what you gotta kind of give them what you want them to do, because you let people roam freely, they're gonna do what they want to do, and that may not work out for you.
And I mean, like I said, I use this with kids. I taught people how to do this with kids. And what I would say when the kid acting out, let's say if somebody standing up in their seat and they harassing somebody else. Oh, no, here go a better one. And I remember this. I had a kid, right? The kid told me what he was going to do. I'm not listening to you. I said, okay then. I tell you what. So you can either come with me to the principal office or you can stay right here. And whatever you decide to do, that's what I'm going to decide to do. So I gave them a choice. Either they can go and do what I said or they can not do what I said. And then, the full weight was going to come down on them. Right. Because what it is, and my homeboy, I talked to him yesterday. And I guess there's something from being a teacher, man, just picking up these little traits of framing things in a positive manner. And I always frame stuff in a positive manner. You always want to tell people what they can do. Don't never tell them what they can't do.
Right. You're right.
Because this gives them the illusion of choice. You tell them what they can do. And that's what this is talking about.
And I think, especially in a situation like even with parenting, this is a great skill or a great tool to master and use, because you can effectively make your children feel like they have an option and feel like they're involved.
Yep.
Meanwhile, controlling the entire scenario, what you want them to do.
But I think also, though, it teaches them more. It teaches them problem solving skills. Teaches them how to deal with stressful situations.
True. That's a nice way to look at it.
Instead of just saying, "Oh, this is just what you're doing." And see, that's it. You that's how you maintain control. You can pick whichever one of these things you want to do, but it got to be out of these two things.
Right.
Or these three things.
Yeah. And that's it. And one way or the other, you're gonna do what I need you to do.
And that's it.
So you like it, I love it.
And again, man, use this all the time with children. And honestly, children and adults are the exact same. There's no difference. I don't care what nobody say. Children and adults are the same.
Yeah, the only thing with adults in this particular scenario is you really have to know you have the options set stronger with adults. Only because some adults will think their way out. Some adults, are capable of thinking their way out. So you have to make sure when you're doing this with adults, you almost got to make it seem like they came up with the options themselves.
Yeah, it depends on if you prepared for that fight,
right?
Or prepared for some kind of pushback. And then if you And then if you're doing this for nefarious purposes, then yeah, you're going to expect that.
Yo, yeah. And this, like any other skill, can be used for the good or for the bad. It's up to the person that's using it. But these two particular chapters right here are two of the ones that I'm sure get pointed out by the naysayers of this book.
But this is how the world goes round.
Yeah.
This is how it goes round. You know, it says right here, when people, you know, feel like they're being manipulated, then they'll fight back. But the saying it said at the end is if you can get a bird to walk into the cage on its own, it will sing much more prettily.
Right. You're right on that one. So this is definitely, I would define this as definitely a use of manipulation.
It is.
So generally when people talk about manipulation, they look at it in a bad light. Oh, you're a manipulator. You're manipulating people to do what you want them to do. But if I'm manipulating a person towards a positive outcome for them and for myself, am I still wrong for manipulating them?
I mean, manipulation happens on all levels all the time.
All the time.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, even in the church, people manipulate.
Correct.
It happens. It just is. What this is letting you recognize it, and then you can choose whether you want to be a part of that or not. Because you can always just say, no, I ain't doing none of it. And just don't do anything. Just stop.
Yeah. You can. But again, that also might play into that person's favor. If they thought it out 2 or 3 moves ahead, 3 or 4 moves ahead, okay, if they choose not to engage at all, this how can I flip that? How can I turn that?
But I guess honestly though, man, if they got you, they got you.
They do got it. That's true. Sometimes you're just in a conundrum.
And at least you get a choice.
Yeah. And then that just takes you back to, you got to use some of these other strategies to fix your situation and get yourself out.
Well, I'm a circle. I just saw this.
Okay.
This is a good thing, and I think this is positive. Such is the power of giving people a choice rather than the illusion of one. There is power in giving people choices.
Yes.
There's power there. There is power in not just commanding and micromanagement. I mean, I was just writing about that micromanagement. That's what caused people to quit jobs, the Great Resignation. That whole micromanagement thing. You and I talked about that. Yep. That do some bad stuff for you.
Yes, it can. And giving people choices is one of the ways to remove the feeling of being micromanaged. Yeah. So
I mean, think about it. Like in the warehouses. If we come up and you get them heavy days, and you might have about 16 loads to go out that day, but you usually average about 9.
Yeah.
And the fellas like, hey, we got to do 16 a day. But it's up to y'all. You can either start on this one first, or you can start on this one first.
Right.
That's a choice. Then they'll say, oh yeah, man, we can knock out these easy ones first, or we can save the easy ones for last, and then, and then they do their thing.
Yeah. That's
where you gain power.
Right.
For giving people choice.
Yep. Or my favorite is when you get that busy day, like a day ahead, like today all right, but tomorrow gonna be super busy. You be like, listen, fella, we can come in early,
or we can
come in late, or we can stay late. What y'all want to do? Them boys coming in early, we be here at 6, man. We be here at 4. They coming in early. They're not staying late. Nobody want to stay late.
No, not at all. They want to come in early all day. I used to hate that job too, man. I be wanting to sleep. I'm working in the office, so it didn't matter. But still, I had to unlock the door, so that was just bad.
Cause we coming in early, baby. We don't do that. Stay late.
But I like that, man. The power you gain power by giving people choice.
Oh yeah.
That's big, man.
And that's a good way to look at it, because you can be giving people choices that work for you, but also work for them.
Win-win.
It doesn't necessarily mean I automatically giving people 2 bad choices. I'm
No.
just giving them choices that work for me.
Exactly. You know what? I'm laughing because I have to talk to my son about this all the time. He is a logical person who overthinks everything.
Okay.
And if he's faced with two choices that he likes both of the choices, he have a hard time making a decision.
Okay.
So I tell him, if you have two choices and they both benefit you, randomly choose one, because no matter which one you choose, you still win it.
And you take yourself out of it.
And it's the same thing. So giving them choices. And this traces back to what I say earlier about teaching them how to make decisions.
Right.
That's what I do with my son all the time.
Yeah. So he sit there and overanalyze to the point where nothing gets done.
Yeah. He'll sit there like, okay, I shouldn't do this one because, and he'll go through and map the whole thing out front to back, and then map the second and do it fast too. It's just be paralyzed. You know, okay, where y'all want to eat at? Chick-fil-A or McDonald's? You know, they like both.
Not my kids, boy. That's Chick-fil-A.
Oh, you know they gonna say Chick-fil-A all the time.
They go to Chick-fil-A for sure. You gotta wait in that line.
Hey, at least it won't be nothing about 3 minutes. And if they mess up your order, you ain't supposed to have it no way.
My pleasure. They gonna, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for my food. My pleasure. Hit you with my pleasure and get you on up out of there.
Okay.
Get you through that line.
But you know, I thought about though, and this is a thing too. And if you own your own business, if you do any kind of sales, giving customers too many choices results in a reduction of sales.
Yes.
You can't give too many choices. And this is what it's saying.
Yep.
So further down, man, Robert Greene talks about the different kinds of ways to give these choices. There's a bunch of them up here.
Right. He breaks this down pretty good.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I got a lot of notes on this stuff, man. The first one is color the choices. So basically what he's saying is that you can give all the choices, but you make the choice you want them to pick seem a little better than the other ones. You just describe it better.
Yep, that's exactly how you do it.
I ain't gonna lie. People with kids, you know y'all that did this before.
Oh, you definitely.
You know y'all that did this before.
Kids come asking for something, and you give them what you give them options, but it be the options you want them to have.
Okay, so y'all can go to Disney, you know, and we going like, you know, this weekend, or y'all can wait and go to Flying Frogs. And you can jump and play, and you can go right now. Knowing good and well, Flying Frogs will cost you $20, and Disney gonna cost you $600.
Yeah. You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it though.
That's all this is.
Yeah, you go to Disney in 2 weeks. You can go to Flying Frogs right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I can buy you the new Xbox for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can take you to 5 and Below, give you $20 that you ball out right now. You know?
Right. Today. We're going this afternoon.
Right now. We can get in the car right now. We go to 5 and Below right now.
Nope.
Color. Give you $20 that you act up.
I'm saying that's it, man. But you color the choices. I mean, but you can apply that to everything, man.
Yep.
Now, the next one say force the resistor. And this is one of my favorite ones because I had to use it a lot. Mm-hmm. And what it is when people want to advocate for the like they always going to buck on everything you say. Mm-hmm. You push them, like you support the opposite thing. So why this big for me, and in my training of teachers, you have kids with something called oppositional defiant behavior.
Right.
Most people will say that them kids just bad, but oppositional defiant behavior is a thing. There are adults that have it.
Yeah.
That's somebody who say and do the opposite of whatever you say all the time.
Yep.
Man, one time I had this kid named Colton. He was ODD, oppositional defiant. That was the worst one I ever seen. He acted out in class. We walking down the hall. And I said, hey, Colton, man, look, we can't do this. I don't care. What you gonna do? You know, he tried to get me off my game, so I started smiling at him. Because he wanted me to be mad, but I did the opposite.
Right.
What you smiling at me for? Nothing. I'm just smiling. Okay, then. Well, I'm going to tell my mom what you doing. I said, okay, let's go call her. Let's go call her right now. So what he was hoping was that by saying the opposite thing was going to push me to do what he wanted to do.
Right.
So we had, but this is how you stand up for yourself.
He didn't want to be confrontational, period.
Oh, yeah. That's what he was. I'm telling you, oppositional defiant is a real thing. They get a psychological jolt out of getting under your skin. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's an actual thing. It's in the DS9. It's an actual thing. And they would hurt themselves just so they can get under your skin because they gain a greater reward out of that. And some adults are the same way.
Yep. I've seen it. I have seen it. No matter what, at all costs, they even to themselves, mm-hmm. just to not do what you ask them to do.
That's it. I mean, you had people on a job like that. You had them like that.
Yep. And
you gotta.
I call them. What I learned about those type of people is you got to always set the situation up for them to win. Yeah. For them to think they won. Mm-hmm. And nothing make them feel like they won more than thinking they got over on you.
Okay.
Gotta make them feel like they got over on you. Well, if they get over on you, they don't care. They'll work. They'll do more work than anybody else in the building, as long as they feel like they got over on you.
That's right. Yeah, but that's altering the playing field.
They love it. They just want to get over on you. I got over on him. He asked me to do this. I ain't want to do that. So I'm doing this over here. But they really, those to me are the easiest people to manipulate.
Yeah. And honestly, you know what? I always tell people you got to be playing chess with people.
Yeah.
And what keeps people from playing chess and being strategic and thinking about situations are their emotions.
Yep.
Because they'll say something to get under their skin, and next thing you know, they trying to make the other person feel pain. Man, put all that emotion to the side.
Yep.
But when it's happening to you, then you being difficult. Then stop being difficult.
Yep. Well, I think this works. I'm not gonna say works, but this is one of the things in a relationship that can really hurt a relationship, in a romantic relationship. You get one of these people who are, the opposition of defiant, who just gotta win. This is one of the things that can kill it. I've been around people like this that in their relationship, they don't care what really happened.
Yeah.
As long as they feel like they're getting the better end of the deal. And a lot of times they do feel like they get the better end of the deal until the other person walk off.
Yeah.
Walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they feel stupid.
Yeah. So I guess the thing is how to deal with those people is he's showing us right here. You got to, like you said, make it seem like they're getting over. You got to reinforce the opposite thing.
Yep.
To get them to do what you need them to do. Now the next one says the shrinking options. Oh, I love this one because this one, people try to throw it over on me, and they just make me mad when they do this. They do. And I got this saying, I always tell them, and they'll never question it. But what it is basically the buyers have to buy whatever is there because tomorrow it might not be there or it might cost more.
Right.
Now I wrote car salesman. Because they do it on car lot. Man, you better get this today.
Somebody else asking about it.
Yeah.
You know who does it all the time? Apartment people who selling apartments. Oh, we only got 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 units left now. How is always only 2 units left?
Because one of them the demo and one of them getting fixed up.
There's always only 2 units left. No matter what you do, no matter when you call the apartment complex, no matter what the economy is, it's always only 2 units.
Man, you know what I throw out here? I got the one saying that back people up off me all the time. If God got it for me, it's gonna be for me. If God got it for me to be here tomorrow when I come back.
They don't like
and then
that
they
one.
leave me alone. They don't even fuss with me about that because they don't want to touch that.
See me, I mean, well, God sent you here today.
Oh,
God
he
sent you
did.
today for a reason.
Yeah.
To talk to me right now. I'm trying to tell you that God had told me to tell you, go ahead and get it today, because I ain't gonna save it for you for tomorrow.
But see, now I know you lying because he ain't told you to tell me nothing. But man, you know, they try that everywhere, man. And to me, when people push me like that, it's like it's timeshares all over again. I just turn into something else.
Oh, you can't make nothing remind old Doc of that timeshare. You know, it's over with at that point. Once you feel that timeshare in you, it's over with. He don't want to deal with you no more.
Man, like that's my weakness. I don't like people trying to force me to do stuff.
Right.
That's my whole weakness. And I just turn into somebody else. Oh man.
But you know, the shrinking options one, you definitely have to establish yourself or establish whatever you have as something that person really wants. You got to find, you kind of got to test the waters of how bad they want it.
Uh-huh.
And that's when the shrinking options thing can be super effective.
Yeah. I mean, and it's true. Because you know what? Sometimes people telling the truth. Hey, these things going fast.
Yeah.
It might not be here. I mean, and it might very well be true. They might actually have only 2 apartments. It might be true.
Right.
But then I guess for me, I look at that one and seeing that I'm not going to be a victim to that one.
Right.
Next one say the weak man on the precipice. So pretty much it's for people who hem and haw, you know, they kind of don't want to make the decision. Like I told, like my son,
Yeah.
you know, same thing. But you kind of push them, you know, it says here, work on their emotions, use fear and terror to propel them into action.
And for me, that's the hardest one for me to do. Like, for example, I'd much rather deal with the person that want to get over.
Yeah.
You know, than deal with the person who I know is just afraid, because I am less comfortable myself with making people do things they're afraid to do.
Oh,
you know, especially when I know it's for me to win.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's for them to win, that's different. That's a totally different situation. But when it's like with my kids or something, that's easy. But when it's an adult and I'm kind of, you know, I need this person to do this so I can get this done, and then they have some kind of fear that's a legitimate fear, I have trouble pushing that envelope.
See, that take a lot of finesse. I got good at that one.
Yeah.
I got real good at that one. And really, now this says, you know, you do have to be more aggressive. And they say use fear and terror to prepare them into action. But the thing is, the fear and the terror are what they are afraid of. So what you do is you find out the core of what they're afraid of. And then once you diagnose that, then you can say, okay, this is how I can alleviate. This is how this thing will alleviate that.
Okay.
It takes more time.
Right.
But you could, you know, but to me, that's actually a positive thing because it's getting somebody out of a rut.
Well, yeah, it definitely depends on what you're trying to, what options you're giving them and what you're trying to accomplish with those options. Now, sometimes them getting over a fear helps you.
Yeah.
So it benefits you and them. But then sometimes you really put in a person in a situation where they have to deal with one of their issues for solely your gain. And that's hard for me to do because that particular individual may not be at a point in their life where they're ready to deal with whatever those fears are.
And that's true. That's true. And you know, the good part is you don't have to.
Right.
Or if you are the person who can't make that decision, that's the thing. You have to recognize that when you are not going to make that decision, some people are going to be more aggressive and try to scare you. Yes. They do it to old people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. And they try to force them. Don't budge. Don't move. Because they can't do nothing unless you sign a paper or say yes. If you don't say nothing, you can just leave. You're not held hostage anywhere.
Right.
What else we got here? Brothers in crime. Now, see this one. So brothers in crime, it's wise to implicate your deceptions to the very person that can do you the most harm if you fail. So basically, you was there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Well,
gonna
we
get
did this
caught up
together.
in this.
We did this
Some
together.
people
We
do
both
that.
going down for this.
Yes.
Yeah. This the one the married cheaters use. They cheat with a married. They cheat with a married person. So
Yeah.
both of them get in trouble.
Both was going down.
Yeah. You say something to my wife, I'm gonna say something to your husband. We both gonna have a bad day.
I'm saying, man, and that's it. So I guess the best thing to do is, try to stay out of that stuff, man.
That's definitely the best thing to do. That's easily the best thing to do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Carlos, black men don't cheat. You understand me?
Okay.
Stay out of it. Just stay clean out of that stuff. It's gonna have you to jam up at some point.
Next one say horns of a dilemma. Hold on, man.
So Doc had to step out. But the thing about what I want y'all to understand about this again is how you use these different tactics. It's not about read the tactic, listen, understand how you can break it down. Yes, this is a little bit manipulative, but you want to make sure you can use manipulation to help people. You don't always have to use it to get over on somebody. Although letting somebody feel like they got over on you can also be beneficial.
That's right. Oh, no, that was the wife. Wife taking care of me. She wanted to check on me.
Hey.
She tried to she called me on duo on the phone. She's like, you on the air? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's all right.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong that she checking on you. She doing her job. Making sure you all right out there in the garage.
Man, look at here. Oh, now my wife do it up, man. I have to throw her praises out there every chance I get.
Yeah. She knows she doing her own stuff, still checking on you. That's all right though.
Oh yeah, man. For what I was saying here, the next one, the horns of the dilemma. This is what they try to throw on you. Basically, they try to make you get you to make a decision real fast.
Yes. That's the one that's least effective on me. The reason I say it is because you're not gonna rush me. I don't have to have it. I'm out.
See, look, don't worry about it. Look, I came here in a car.
I don't have to have it. No, man, you got to get it today. You got to do it right now, or limited time only. You know what? I don't need it that bad. I was doing fine before I saw it. I don't play. You're not going, because that's when I feel like I'm being bullied. Yeah. When you try to rush me. Oh, you trying to bully me,
bro? Time shares. we gonna have to go to a timeshare. I'm gonna try it one more time. We gonna go, and then I'm gonna be good the whole time. Man, the whole time.
You got to have fun with it, dog. You got to have fun with them. Listen, they just trying to do a job. You trying to get a free weekend. Everybody trying to get something.
But they trying to use all of Law 31 on me. And I didn't read
trying
the
to use
book,
about 6-7 laws in that situation on you. Get it. But again, that's when you use your own knowledge of the 48 laws and you put it back on them. Don't let them put you in the box. Don't let them back you into a corner. Find you some wiggle room. You got to go in there with your mindset. They want to sell it. You don't want to buy it.
There you go.
Classic game. Last one I went to, I made a dude pack up all his stuff. He's like, all right then. About 30, 45 minutes in. He's like, well, I understand. You pack my stuff like, oh, this ain't even your desk, huh? You trying to get me over here with the fake pictures, your fake family pictures and everything. These ain't even you. You got to have fun with it.
They all share a desk.
Yeah, they share the desk. What you got to do, I'm going to tell you, pick something you want and tell them why you can't buy the timeshare based on you trying to keep your money right for this thing that you want. And if they can't make that, now you put them in a box, and now they got a competition. Now they got to compete for what it is you already said you want. They got to make the timeshare seem better than what you want, or try to make it seem like you can have the timeshare and what you want.
See, we go at the, I don't know, I might not even get to go. My wife probably ain't gonna take me back no more.
Listen, my personal favorite is the infinity truck. That's what I use as why I can't buy the timeshare. I'm always trying to buy me an infinity truck. Well, you know, I'm trying to save money, trying to get this Infinity truck, and then for my birthday. That's all. That's my line.
Look, these days, I'm gonna be like, look, I'm trying to get to work next week. I got to get a gallon, get a full tank of gas.
I gotta buy this Tesla. I gotta buy this electric car. I can't even do it. Oh man, I see the gas post, man. I'm like, man.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, boy, I tell you, bro. That matter of fact, right now, that's how a job would get anybody right now. All they gotta do is say we got free gas over here.
Oh, all day long. And see, that speaks to something else. Why is turnover and unemployment?
Yeah. Well, you know, right now, you can quit a job if you got to drive too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. The drive to work will quit a job right now. Personally, I love this job, but I can't pay to get here.
Got to go.
Especially in Atlanta, boy. That whoo. Can't sit in traffic and work for a little bit of money.
Okay, it ain't worth it.
Control the options.
But look at this, man. At the end of the chapter,
right.
It says, even as a general rule, however, it is rarely wise to be seen as exerting power directly and forcefully, no matter how secure or strong you are. It's usually more elegant and more effective to give people the illusion of choice.
I agree with this.
If they see you bullying on somebody, your employee's going to turn against you.
Yes.
Your kid's going to turn against you. The student's going to turn against you. Your friend's going to turn against you because you are a bully. You had the power and you weren't benevolent with it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's better to, you know, use your power but not enforce your power. You know, and giving people options and controlling the options is one of the ways of having that power and using it extremely well, but also giving people the illusion of their own power.
I mean, honestly, this rolls right into one of the biblical things, the term called meekness.
Yes.
And people hear meekness and think it means weakness, but it don't. What it means is that having power, but not using it like this.
Right.
You know, this is exactly what it is. And
I don't think it's power without using it. I think it's power without force.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You're using your power. You're just not using.
Well,
women are far better at this than men.
That's their gift.
Yes.
That is their gift. That's why I think that women have the most power, and a lot of them don't realize it anymore. And I respect it. No, not a lot of them don't realize it anymore. That because they want to have the physical power like we have,
right?
But they don't want to use their power that they've been given.
No, I think a lot of women use their power that they've been given. I think that women don't use it. I think women use their power, the power that they have, for control. A lot of women don't use it to benefit the group. They use it to benefit themselves.
Okay.
Like I think, you know, but I think also they're really, really good at, like, you know, you be in a relationship with a woman really make you feel like you made a decision, and the whole time you made a decision.
Oh, yeah,
she wanted to make. But that's all right. Everybody got what they wanted.
Yep. But that's why I say, you know, if you find a wife, you find a good thing, you got to find somebody that you can be open with and that won't take advantage of you.
Yeah.
That way you can be yourself.
Exactly.
Like, I know my wife ain't gonna take advantage of me. You know, I can do whatever, I can treat her however, and she won't take advantage of it. And I will do the same with her. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. So what's the closing, Doc? How do you close it up on this chapter?
Oh man, that's what we just talked about, man. Just the reversal. Oh yeah, man. Sometimes limiting the options limit your own.
Yes.
So you because you can constrict them, and then you won't be able to react because they don't have options to react.
Right. Because also when you giving options, you may also make promises or make contingencies that you have to follow. So
that's right.
If you give people, you gotta be very mindful of the options you give. For example, with the kids, you can't tell the kids you can go to Flying Frogs or Disney, and the kids say Flying Frogs, and you ain't got no Flying Frogs money in your pocket.
Okay.
Now you done lost the kids all together. got to be careful what you offer out there. You don't think they're gonna say Disney. You think, oh, my kids gonna say Disney, and I got a couple more weeks to get that money together. Nah, buddy, they done said flying frogs and you broke. Yeah,
see that, and you're right. But that happens in all kinds of things.
Right.
So what do they say? Don't write a check you're behind can't cash.
Exactly.
There you go.
Oh, now we know where all these old school sayings come from.
Man, it's so much stuff in this book, man. It's full. It's full of knowledge.
Yeah. I really like this chapter, man. Like I said, it's one of the ones that it's definitely one of the finesse chapters. And people have used it on me, and I've used it myself, and I think it's a lot to learn. I think this is one of the chapters. The greatest part of the chapter is not allowing somebody knowing when it's being used on you. Yes.
I'm big on that, man. Just you don't have to be negative with stuff, but just knowing when people, guarding yourself. That's a big thing.
For example,
guard you.
In a lot, we've seen here just in our conversation, in a lot of sales situation, a lot of this tactic gets used on you. And you need to be aware of it. Don't let them folks bully you into buying stuff you ain't ready to buy.
That's what I'm saying. You got like a 2002, got you a 2002 Lexus with 200,000 miles that you paying $600 a month for. Then they got you messed up
because you had to have it. Sometimes you just say no.
Look, you know what I tell them people to do? Just go and see if you can sit in a new one, and then you won't even want no more ones no more. just don't even do it.
It's bad out here right now, but the used car game is on 10 right now.
Oh, I know it, bro. I know it. It's for real, man.
This is my one.
Play to people's fantasies. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies.
Listen,
the truth is often avoided because it's ugly and unpleasant. Life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance and conjure up fantasy are like oases in the desert. Everybody flocks to them. There's great power in the tapping into the fantasies of the masses.
Okay, dog.
Man,
I have to admit on this one, this is one I have used. I'm not going to say for nefarious dealings, but I have definitely used to my advantage that may or may not have been to the advantage of other people. I have a phrase that I use around this. I will sell you a stanky dream bigger than life. Playing to the fantasy. Oh, I listen, I will make it sound immaculate. This is when on this particular tip, I have used my silver tongue to gain some things that I may have played a little to the side, a little sour. I got to take some bullets on this one.
I hear you, bro. But I mean, but this is what it is, and what's telling about this is that it's true.
Yeah,
because everybody want to be happy,
right? And
everybody want, the fantasy. That's what they want. Yeah. Even if it appears to be something else.
If you can find out somebody's fantasy, or what I have done effectively is craft a person's fantasy and make them think you are a major part of them getting that fantasy. You can get them to do whatever you want.
But man, look at this though. But even talking about fantasies, and I know we leaning on relationships between people, but some people feel like once you get in a long-term relationship or you married, that is actually one way. Like, oh, we're gonna be, cuddled every night and having these long, deep conversations and all of that stuff. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, and I know you know.
Oh yeah,
it ain't like that
at all.
It ain't like that.
That ain't it. That's not what it is.
You know where the magic is? The magic is this. When I'm sick, I know my wife got me.
Yep.
I know that for a fact. I know that. Exactly. It ain't the fact that we can sit and talk about all, because we don't. Matter of fact, the thing is, what I told her, and I think it made her feel better, is because we married, I don't have to be your best friend.
Nope.
And when she got that, she was like, oh, yeah, you know what, you're right. And we was all good.
It don't have to be your best friend.
No.
But you know that plays back to the fantasy that we've all been sold in our society. You know, the fairy tales and all of that kind of stuff. But and not even so much on a relationship tip. If you can tap into someone's desires or someone's dreams, and you can insert yourself as a means, or yourself or whatever you're selling or whatever you're trying to accomplish as a means to them getting to that fantasy, they'll go to. That's what he's talking about. They'll go the extra mile for you. They'll do whatever it is because they believe your involvement or your idea or your plan is integral to them getting that fantasy.
That sounds like I can't remember, and I wish I had these laws memorized, but remember the one where he said it create a cult-like following?
Yes. Yeah.
This is the same thing. That's how people get it. I mean, but look at this. He said, now I think further down, and I wrote the Kevin Samuels effect. It's about how you say it right here, but
oh yeah.
And I also wrote prosperity preaching because it happens in the church, but it says such is the power of the fantasies that take root in us, especially in times of scarcity and decline.
Yep.
When you ain't got nothing and stuff is going bad, people rarely believe that their problems arise from their own misdeeds and stupidity. It's always somebody else's fault.
Yep.
Someone or something out there is to blame. The other, the world, the gods, and so salvation comes from the outside as well. That was deep.
Yes, sir.
It's everybody else's fault, so something out there gonna fix it.
Yep. And if you can be that thing that's out there that comes along to fix it, you have untold power with those individuals.
And that's man, that was so deep right there, man. I mean, that was wow.
Yeah, that's this one here. This play to the fantasies. This is one that can be extremely powerful. You can almost put a person in some kind of a dream trance. Yeah. If you can craft, like if you find someone who doesn't even have a dream or a goal or a fantasy or whatever you want to call it, and you actually craft that for them.
Yeah.
You can do things with those. You can convince those people of things that you never thought were possible.
And that's the truth. I mean, because like I said in my notes, I talked about the Kevin Samuels effect. I said, which he was big on this right here. This was like the crux of his whole thing. But then the part about prosperity preaching, because and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, because people use this. They use this not knowing that it's your own thing. Oh, God gonna give me that job.
Right.
But how God gonna give you a job when you never go to apply for the job? You never put in the application.
Come on now.
It ain't just gonna come to you.
Right.
You got to do something. And a lot of people believe that it's the devil keeping me down. It ain't the devil, it's you, because you're doing dumb stuff all the time. 24/7.
And that's one of people's biggest fantasies, that it, like you said, that it's something else besides them, because people don't want to take responsibility. Accountability is like kryptonite for a lot of people. You know what it is. And it's just when you can slide in that hole, man, and give them that fantasy or find out what that fantasy is, and you can be the throughway or the link or the vessel to that fantasy, it gives you a lot of power over a person.
This says right here exactly what you've been talking about this whole time. To gain power, you must be a source of pleasure for those around you. And pleasure comes from playing to people's fantasies. Never promise a gradual improvement through hard work. Rather promise the moon, the great and sudden transformation of part of gold. So you got to be the source of the pleasure.
So that's selling that dream. You got to sell that dream. I'll sell you a stanky dream bigger than life.
Oh.
I will sell it to you. I have you. Oh man, I have you thinking that the impossible is possible, man. I will listen. I'm almost mad. I'm almost embarrassed. Some of the things I've done. I have used some lines and some things. Oh, brother. Listen, I look back at some of the things I said. Oh man, I'm just
bro.
some of the dreams I done sold out here in these streets. It's bad, man.
But the big thing is though, and again, everything got to come within you. It's all your fault. I don't care what nobody say. I mean, as much as we talk back and forth about stuff happening and what's going on in the world, it's all your fault. And I can't remember the name of the book. As a Man Thinketh by oh shoot. I can't remember the name of the author, but the book is As a Man Thinketh.
Okay.
And, now that one is short, but it's real heavy. Like you got to consume small bits of it at a time so you can understand it.
Let it sink in.
But that one, that pretty much he said everything is your fault.
Right.
He said this. It's not coming from everywhere else. Because you know what? You know how we always say people like, oh, it's the white man doing this or that, or it's the women doing this or that. It don't matter. Like you always say, long as I know what the rules are, it's up to me to play it, how to do it. I mean, honestly.
And that's the thing about this play to the fantasies that makes it so effective is if I'm the one providing the fantasy, I'm also the one making the rules.
Oh. Uh-huh.
I'm also the one controlling the strings on when you get to that fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a real powerful law, man, because this one, if you can play the person's fantasy, man, you can have a person so wrapped up in what you're selling.
Yeah.
They will do things to damn near hurt themselves because of this dreaming.
Yeah.
And you have to be very careful. It's a great responsibility in this power.
But I think what's bad is that people, we can't see it. Like we see it in a certain circumstance because we're looking out for it, but the main ones that's on our back, we don't see it.
Right.
So I'll say, for instance, I mean, there are some crooked pastors out there in church that use this.
Yes.
They do this. Some of them do this. And we can catch on that real fast. People can see that, but they don't see all the other ones that come and try to take that stuff from you.
Yeah. Well, now let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Play to people's fantasies.
Yep.
Find out what they are, find out what they want, desire most, and use it to benefit yourself. That's what this is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But what if in the process of that, I deliver the fantasy?
Hey, no harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. I can find out your fantasy and I can say, oh, okay, that's what that person wants. This takes you back to the 7 habits of highly effective people. Think win-win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't think win-lose or that. Think win-win. And okay, this is that person's fantasy. I can help them get 2 or 3 steps towards that fantasy. So let me play to that. Because I need them to, I have a fantasy I need them to help me get to.
But you know what though? It's like that old saying from a lot of people's favorite superhero. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, sir.
And if you are the person that's crafting these fantasies, you taking people that are in these mundane and humdrum places, like he said, fantasy can't operate alone. Mm-hmm. So somebody who's already up here, you can't sell them a dream because they already live in it. But somebody who ain't got nothing, is boring, wherever they at, you can do that to them. But it's up to you what you gonna do with that. That's power. I mean, that's a lot of power in your hand.
Oh yeah.
But look at this line. It said, never be distracted by people's glamorous portraits of themselves and their lives. Search and dig for what really imprisons them. Bruh.
Whoa.
Now this one.
Listen. That speaks to the grandiose view people have of themselves. And when you can chisel through that, listen, I'm gonna give you one of my lines in this regard right here. You know, I have, you know, that same thing. Dealing with a woman. A woman could think she's she could come off like she thinks she's beautiful and like she thinks she's grand and all that stuff. But if you look a woman in the eyes, because almost every woman I ever met had some insecurities about how they look and how they feel about themselves. You can look them in the eyes with a straight face and you say this right here with meaning, whatever imperfections you find about yourself, I decided a long time ago I didn't care. Man, listen. Listen. When I tell you that right there works some wonders for you, fellas, that's free game, fellas. Free game. I ain't even gonna charge y'all for that. You know, come back on Saturday for more tips.
Well, but you know what though? I had a conversation with my homeboy the other day. And you know, he worked down at the Ports. And you know, I went to college, he didn't. And he probably made twice as much money as I do. Yep. I mean, straight up. I know he do. Cause I do his taxes, so I know he do. But he said this. Because people would see him and be like, oh man, you working at the Ports, you making good money, you doing this and that. But you don't really like his job like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing that imprisons him. He doing something that, you know, makes him, he don't really like it. And it's doing a job, like it's weighing him down every day because of the other stressors coming in from it. So that's the part people don't see. Like it's something, everything got a trade-off. And you got to pay the price for what, the higher you move up the ladder, the bigger the price you're going to have to pay.
Yep.
And that's what people don't get. They don't understand that job, man.
Yeah. It's definitely a sacrifice. I mean, you know, take myself. Yeah, I'm salaried. I know exactly how much I'm going to make every couple of weeks. But when I got to come and do extra, I don't get no more money.
Nope.
You know, ain't no overtime over here. I get all the phone calls. I get all the problems.
Yes.
I get everybody emotions. You know, is it more money? Yes. But I don't have the luxury of just I don't have the luxury of just coming in and doing my job and being left the hell alone.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm not gonna lie, some days I'll be like, man, I wish I could just pull these orders.
That's it. It'd be a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
It'd be a whole lot easier. I'm telling you. But that's the thing. That's the reality. So further down, he got Robert Greene do a bunch of fantasy and reality play on words. So the reality, change is slow and gradual, which it is. It requires hard work, a bit of luck, and a fair amount of self-sacrifice and a lot of patience. All of those things. Like, so what I get out of that is, I mean, I don't believe in luck like that, but what he pretty much saying is just because you work hard on something, that don't mean it's going to work.
Yeah.
It might not work.
Right.
And the fantasy is that, oh, you can do this and get it fast.
Right.
That don't happen. That's what people do with all the weight loss pills and those, what it is, we know that little liquid that they be selling all the time.
Oh, the noni juice and all that kind of stuff.
You know what it is. They get them old Hawaiian Punch jugs and put stuff in and they be drinking it. Tell me I'm losing inches. Man, it's the same thing. It don't matter. It don't matter. It take hard work, diet and all that to lose weight. Just like it take hard work and all that stuff. It took you a long time to get to where you were at in your career.
Yep.
You just ain't came with it, man.
But when you can convince a person that, again, that I'm the avenue to that fantasy you're thinking about, you can have massive amounts of power over them.
That's true, man. And you know, we got what's the next one? Social realm has hard set codes and boundaries. So everybody got limits. And that you got to move in the same familiar circles day in and day out. And the fantasy is that it's a different world out there.
Yeah.
It's different in other places. And I learned that firsthand. Because I taught at a charter school, taught at inner city school, and I taught at a rural area school in between. And honestly, all of them the same. All of them the same. You might think the charter school out there at the beach was something different. It wasn't. It wasn't. They just had a different set of problems. Matter of fact, I would even venture to think like those problems those kids dealt with over there was in a whole nother ballpark. Even in the deep hood, they had issues, but it wasn't like them.
Right.
you know, I had this one kid who had so much pressure because he was kind of smart, but everybody putting him under pressure.
Right.
And he did the best he could, but nobody believed him. But the whole time he did, his dad got stomach cancer.
Mm.
So he dealing with that, going back and forth to Atlanta and back to the island. You know, then the boy come in and say, you know, Doc, I had to call the ambulance for my dad. Like, really? Yeah, because I had I walked in and he was throwing up blood, stomach cancer. So this kid is 11 years old and had to do all this.
Yep, that's dealing with a
the
lot.
stuff they got to deal with.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, but that's it. So they're all the same.
Yeah, it's again. That's why it's a fantasy. You know, you had this fantasy. Like you said, you would think out there on the island on the charter school would be better. That was a fantasy you had in your head, or people have in their head about it.
Yeah,
that's just not true.
It ain't. And everybody have their own issues and their own problems.
I guess that go back to the grass isn't always greener.
There you go. They think it is.
Just because you think it's sweet, or you think it's gonna work out a certain way or move a certain way, it just doesn't.
No, you're right. You're right. So next one, society is fragmented and full of conflict. That's the reality. And then people can come together in a mystical union of souls is what the fantasy is. I mean, you know what? I think it take a lot to bring a bunch of different people together. It take a lot.
Yeah, it take a lot to bring two people together these days. More or less a bunch of people.
Especially different. Man, look, I'm telling you. But, you know, I mean, I think it's always going to be a separation because there's too many people, too many different types of people. And this fragment is different stuff. I mean, even within the same group.
Yeah. I mean, it's always every group, every person, and every group, and every large group has different issues.
Uh-huh.
And that is where it comes in when these two chapters or two laws work together with the controlling the options and playing to the fantasy. I'm creating the fantasy by giving you the option of dealing with me or doing things the way I want you to do it. And the more people individually I can convince of that, and the more groups I can convince of that I'm the man that has the route to the fantasy and can give you presenting you options that gets you closer to what you want, the more power and control I have. Which is why these things are so. When you start breaking down, man, the way this man laid these laws out.
Yeah, like it's big, bro.
And you see how they build upon one another. Mm-hmm. When you talking about trying to reach an ultimate goal, and the way I view power now has changed.
Yes.
Because I look at power now instead of control or influence over other people. I look at it as power and control and influence over myself to help me accomplish my goal.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not trying to hurt anybody or take anybody for nothing or manipulate people. I'm just trying to get my goal. And in the process, because the world works the way it works, I'm going to have to interact with other people.
Yes.
And I might as well interact with them in a manner that helps, that where I have control of the situation. And I'm not at the mercy of somebody else.
And it's sad these days, you know, I see how many people give their power away all the time.
Yep.
They give it away.
Yep.
Because they don't understand that they have it.
Well, I think that's part of why people give it away. And the second reason people give their power away is they don't want the responsibility. They don't want, like you said earlier, people. They want to be the victim. They want to say something else out there. So they gladly give their power away so that if it doesn't go right, they can say, oh, it was your fault.
They don't have the blame for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. People are so afraid of taking the blame, they just give their power away.
And it's better to retain it. Like, You know how
most
much
of the time, most of the time, I agree with you. I agree. Sometimes I give my power away in certain situations. But
But if you
yes,
choose to give it away,
right.
and you know that's what you're doing, that's still retaining your power.
Yeah.
That's still retaining it. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, like the example I used with the old Lexus. You know what I'm saying? You think you gaining power because you're getting a Lexus, but in actuality, you just gave it away because you're paying so much money a month, and for
Right.
the next 8 years,
For something that ain't gonna last that long.
you gave it away.
Yep.
Or every time you get angry and lose your cool, you give your power away.
Definitely. That's one I'm sure you dealing with all these young boys.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's so many times, and I show them how to do it because they make me mad a lot. And I hit the desk, I hit on stuff on purpose and kind of make it big, and then I'll step to the side and take a deep breath, and then I'll come right back so I can show them like, hey, you can be mad, have a little outburst, and then bring it back in, and then you deal with what's going on.
Right.
And that's what worked, man.
That's good. So what's the reversal on this one, Doc?
Actually, okay, I highlighted something here.
Okay.
One last thing. Never make the mistake of imagining that fantasy is always fantastical. It certainly contrasts with reality, but reality itself is sometimes so theatrical and stylized that the fantasy becomes a desire for simple things. Real life is so jacked up that the fantasy is not being in it.
Yeah. I can see that. Or you can be dealing with something that was, for example, like the stomach cancer situation the little boy was dealing with. He would have loved for just to be a regular kid.
That's it.
Go and not have to
game, chill.
Yeah. Because reality can be so outrageous and so far gone that you just crave, it's like when you're young, you want to move to the city and be involved in all the hustle and bustle. You get older, all you want to make enough money to do is move to the country.
And not do nothing.
So
people to leave me alone.
So yeah, you're right. The fantasy can be just as simple as, man, look, I just want to raise my kids and be and make my little bit of money and take care of my family, man. I ain't really interested in all that other nonsense. And that can be a lot of people's fantasy.
But I mean, I just think back of all the people I met in my life and thinking about how their lives are theatrical like that. And I mean, mostly as kids, like I told y'all about the little boy and his sister. I talked to the boy and his sister, and they had to live in a hotel because the mama wanted to go stay with her boyfriend. The boyfriend wouldn't let the kids in the house. So they lived in a hotel for like 2 or 3 months by themselves. That's one of those unbelievable things.
Unbelievable.
But to them, the fantasy is to have everybody at home.
Yep.
Man, we just
boy, that sounds so crazy to me.
See what I'm saying? That it's
fantastic
stories, man. I just saw some stuff.
Oh, I know the teachers hear it all,
bro.
The teachers hear it all,
and they tell me before they tell their parents.
Mm-hmm. Man, feel bad for them kids, bro.
Oh yeah, man. But so, man, next week, discover each man's thumb screw.
That's a good title.
Everyone has a weakness.
Yep. It's true. It's somewhere out there. It's out there. Oh, those of us who hide them the best are the strongest. It's like a tail. And we all got a tail.
Oh yeah. And we all got these weaknesses too.
Yep. Oh, and also Saturday, we back Saturday, we live. It's Father's Day week. Ladies, we talking to y'all about, men want some real gifts out here this year. We tired of ties and socks and all of that. Come join us Saturday. We're gonna talk about some gifts y'all can give us. That's real gifts and how to know what your man really want. We trying to have some guests lined up for you. That might not go how we wanted to go, but he'll bring them back.
They coming though. They coming. They not gonna be here this Saturday, but the next Saturday they will be on deck.
They will be on deck. So just watch with us for these next couple of weeks. Later, we're gonna give y'all some insight into the mind of some men and some of the things we want and the things we desire on a Father's Day weekend. Just like y'all have things y'all want on Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Look out for the fellas too now.
Oh yeah. So man, I guess that's it, man. That's all we got.
Man, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the Book of Man Book Study. We appreciate y'all coming out. We love you. We out.
Peace.